We have seen Russians use all kinds of things to protect their tanks from the FPV drones, from regular cope cages to massive nets covering entire vehicles. But recently there has been a new player on the field, the turtle tank, and it seems to be multiplying. These tanks all seem to have big metal sheets placed around the vehicle, covering it all around, just not covering the front, still allowing the main gun to be used, somewhat. The first one we saw was this one, in the hangar. This is a T-72B tank with dozer blades, and of course the turtle armor, which appears to have a part of a hood of some car or some truck mounted on top. At least that is what it looks like to me. Could be something else. Then we saw a bit of it in action, where it allegedly survived. But then we got a video of what appears to be the destroyed hangar together with this tank. Now is it really this vehicle? I don't know. We didn't see it for some days after that video came out. But then we got more pictures of it in a hangar again, with the claims that these are new pictures and that it wasn't destroyed. Now, is that true? I'm not sure. The inscriptions on the metal sheets seem to have worn off, and it is also missing some metal sheets that were mounted on the back. So it is possible that the pictures are indeed newer. It could be possible that the one Ukrainians hit was a different one, since, as you will see soon, they all seem to follow a similar way of construction, which is using long metal sheets and putting them side by side until the entire side of the vehicle is covered. So the one that was hit could have been a different one. We then got footage of a different one being used, this time with the drone jammer mounted on the top of the turtle armor, and we got a video of it going into action together with some BMPs. They came under fire, and for some reason their turtle tank keeps going further into the urban area, which was geolocated as Krasnohorivka. The tank reaches the factory complex, turns around and then goes back, so I seriously have no idea what the point of this little excursion was. But oh well. Near the end of the video it almost gets hit by something, but whatever it was, it exploded just behind the tank as it was moving. The last tank we have seen is this one. It is visibly different from the previous two, since the sides of the turtle armor are more flat and rise up before being angled. But it also appears to have a drone jammer on top like the second one. Now, why are they putting this so-called turtle armor on their tanks? And what is the point of those, since they are clearly blocking the vision out of the tank and severely limiting the range of the turret rotation? I believe the idea behind them is to prevent the FPV drones from targeting the weak spots on the tanks, since we have seen many of them usually target the engine deck or the area just under the turret, since those usually have the best results. This type of armor completely obscures the view of the vehicle and makes it really hard to hit anything on it precisely. But would the pre-detonation of FPV mounted heat charges actually prevent them from penetrating the vehicle if they accurately hit the turtle armor in the area where the heat would still hit a critical component? Well, it depends. If it is an RPG warhead mounted on a drone, then I doubt this would stop it from penetrating. Even if RPG warhead detonates a meter or two away from the roof or side armor, it would still probably have enough penetration to go through 40 to 80 millimeters of steel, since the RPG-7 rockets usually penetrate between 400 and 500 millimeters of steel, so I doubt 1 meter of space would drop its penetration by 90%. But there are many different kinds of heat warheads with much less penetration, so it might work against those. What I'm trying to say is that this would not prevent RPG warheads from penetrating the sides and the roof of a tank, but it is certainly making it very hard to hit any critical points on the tank, increasing the survivability to an extent. But the biggest drawback here is the extremely limited visibility. For the driver it makes no difference. In most tanks, the driver can see only forward, excluding of course the rear view cameras. So mounting this does not obscure his vision in the slightest. That is why they are still very much capable of driving the tanks with these contraptions mounted on them. However, it makes the commander very blind. He can only look forward, which is not that important since both driver and gunner can already do that. But he cannot look to either side of the vehicle, severely impacting his situational awareness. The presence of the observation drone in contact with the commander helps mitigate that problem somewhat, but because most of these have jammers on top, the drone operator can only observe from very far away and from a certain point of view. He can't freely move around close to the tank and look around, which means that if there is anything behind trees or buildings, from his point of view, he can't see it. That's why having good visibility in the tank itself would be much better. I personally would cut holes in the sheets in the line of the commander's periscopes, so he could be able to see left and right of the vehicle. And the holes wouldn't need to be big either, since the periscopes have a limited field of view anyway, but it would help out quite a bit. And if anyone would be worried about the drones exploiting those holes, some wire or net could be placed on them so the drones could not slip through them, and voila, problem solved. Placing cameras around would be even better, but of course, cutting a bit of holes would be cheaper. The first turtle tank we saw did have the rear exposed, so the commander could still see behind him and navigate the driver in case they had to reverse. But the other one, with the jammer on top, has the entire back blocked off, so the visibility is extra limited. In the end, their survivability might lead to more crews adopting the way of the turtle, so I do expect we will see more of them in the future. I personally wouldn't do this to a tank, since the cons outweigh the pros in my opinion, but if they believe it is helping them in some way, then so be it. That would be all for now. If you like my content, you can support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day.